What's up, everybody? This Eve coming to y'all with another episode of Hit the Sled. Before we get started on this episode, subscribe. Follow me and subscribe me on my YouTube channel, Hit the Sled. But not only subscribe on my YouTube channel, hit the like buttons on those channels. Man, that'll be a hell of a help for me. Subscribe, hit the like buttons, and when you do that on my YouTube channel, you can go over to my Instagram. I got an Instagram page as well. Hit the Sled. I got a Twitter page and I got a Facebook page. I got a lot of things that I'm working on down the line. Man, I truly appreciate y'all though. A lot of things are coming. A lot of changes are going to be coming. So I appreciate y'all for staying with me. Hit the Sled. We coming. But for this episode right here, this is the NFL Week 7 reaction to what happened this past Sunday. Man, it was a hell of a Sunday in the National Football League. But of course, I got to start with my Redskins. I got to start with the Washington Commanders. We ain't looking good. We are not looking good. They went to New York and they lost 14-7 to the Giants. This was one of the worst games they played this season so far. Even worse than the Bears game they played a couple weeks ago on that Thursday night. The reason why it was one of the worst games because, again, they had no sense of urgency. They came out flat. They had no energy. It was kind of like they walked in there. It was like the Giants were going to lay down. Man, the Giants are looking at them, looking at the Redskins like this is where we can get bounced back. This is the team right here we can beat. And they sure enough came out in the first half and got it done. They came out again, no juice. Eric Bieniemy, we're going to get to him. They not running the ball in total. This is for the game in total. And mind you, this is a 14-7 game. It was 14-0 at halftime. 14-7 game in total. They only ran the ball 17 times. 17 times in total. That's all they ran the ball. Listen, I'm not sitting here saying that the Redskins should go back to 1983 or even 91 or 87. I'm not saying they should do that. But you got to run the ball at least more than 17 times. Man, they came out, Eric Bieniemy acting like he got Pat Mahomes back there. They only ran the ball 17 times. The whole game. 17 times. Sam Howell threw the ball 42 times. He was 22 for 42 for 197 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. That's a recipe for failure. That's a recipe for disaster. If anything, at the worst, they should be balanced. They should be 50-50. But unfortunately, Eric Bieniemy felt like he felt like he had Pat Mahomes back there. And not only do he feel like he got Pat Mahomes back there, he feel like he got the Chiefs' offensive line. Do you know the Giants, before coming to the game against the Redskins, the Giants only had 5 sacks coming into that game? You heard me right. In 6 games, the Giants only had 5 sacks. Yesterday alone, they had 6 sacks. The Redskins are currently on pace to break David Carr's record. When David Carr was a rookie, when he was the first overall pick with the Houston Texans, the first ever draft pick is in Houston Texans history. He played his first year as a rookie. The record for most sacks in the season is 76. Right now, the Redskins are on the pace to give up 96 sacks. They are on pace to shatter that record. Meaning that if they keep going like this, I've been saying this since the beginning of the season. Since the beginning of Hit the Sled, when we doing our NFL previews or reaction, they cannot keep having Sam Howell take this type of punishment. He will not make it. It's only 7 games. They have 40. They've given up 46 sacks already this season. Already. Think about it like this. When the Redskins won the Super Bowl in 1991, you know how many sacks they gave up that whole season? They only gave up 17 sacks that whole season. 17 sacks. That's all they gave up the whole season. Right now, they're on pace to give up 96 sacks. That offensive line is putrid. It is absolutely terrible. That offensive line is one of the worst in the National Football League. I've been saying this since the beginning of Hit the Sled that offensive line will not hold up anytime they play a team with a ferocious defensive line or defensive front. The Giants don't even have they got names, but they hadn't been playing like it. They had 5 sacks coming into the season. They gave up 6 yesterday and countless hits. The defensive coordinator for the Giants, the defensive coordinator Wink, he actually was just flat out just blitzing. Anytime it was a known passing down, he was bringing pressure and he was getting home. Wink Mondale. He was flat out bringing pressure. He said, I don't care what y'all do. We coming. And that's what they did. They was coming downhill on the Redskins. They was just coming downhill. No fear at all. They said, we just gonna come. And for the first time, they made Sam Howell look like a rookie. He looked bad yesterday. He looked bad. The Redskins are a below average football team. They are absolutely terrible. And when you look at this team, you look at that offensive line. Ron Rivera had 4 years. 4 years to build that offensive line, and this is what we got. You got Magic tweeting after the game, talking about scoring 7 points is not good enough. Eric Bieniemy thinking he in Kansas City throwing the ball more than he running it. This Ron is let me say this. If you look at the Redskins' next 5 games, they got Philly at home. They go to New England. You think they're gonna beat New England? Even how bad New England was playing, we're gonna get to New England later. New England, even though they having the worst season in franchise history, New England Patriots are playing like it was when we were kids, when Andre Tippett and them was out there. If you don't know who Andre Tippett is, look him up. He used to play linebacker for the New England Patriots. I don't know if Andre Tippett in the Hall of Fame, but he used to play linebacker for the Patriots back in the day. They got the Patriots. Do you think that's a win? Then they go to Seattle. You think they're going to beat Seattle up there? With that crowd noise and that offensive line we saw? Then they play the Giants. You think they're going to beat the Giants after what we saw? Then they go to Dallas Thanksgiving. Now, why did the NFL schedule them for Thanksgiving again? That's beyond me. I don't know why they did it. They have no shot against the Cowboys. None. They ain't beating the Cowboys. They ain't beating Dallas. They ain't beating Dallas on Thanksgiving. You can cancel that. They ain't doing that. Where's the wins coming from? That's the next 5 games. After these next 5 games, the Skins gonna be 3-9. You think Josh Harris is going for that? After paying $6 billion? You think Magic going for it? Magic put in $250 million. You think he going for that? You think Magic want to be on his yacht out there in LA somewhere with his Hollywood friends? They laughing at him, saying, "Magic, man, man, what's going on with y'all, man? There ain't showtime out there." You think Magic going for that? This Ron Rivera last year. Ron ain't got it no more. It's over. It's over, Ron. It is absolutely over. When you look at this squad, they were 1 for 15 on 3rd down. Think about that. They converted 1 third down the entire day. They were 1-15 on third down. How are you going to win a game? And they were still in the, that's how bad the Giants were. They were 1-15 on third down, and they only lost by 7. They could have tied the game driving down to tie the game. So Josh Harris and them, I don't believe people are calling for Ron Rivera's head. I don't think Ron Rivera is going to fire that man mid-season. That's a Snyder move. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they are going to wait till after the season's over to clean house as far as with all Snyder hires. I hate to say it. Mon Mayhew, he drafted a 150-pound corner. He can't even get on the field right now. His confidence is lack. His confidence is shot right now. He can't get on the field. Emmanuel Forbes, where he at? Where he been at the last 2 weeks? I remember when they drafted him, I said to myself, I ain't seen this kid play. I don't know whether or not he can play. But here's what I know is he's 150 pounds. How is he going to stick with A.J. Green? How he's going to stay with C.D. Lamb? How he's going to cover these people, man? How he's going to cover big receivers, physical receivers? Can he check Debo? He can't do nothing with Debo, man. This ain't college, man. These grown men. So I'm hoping though, but I ain't done yet with the young man. I'm hoping though he can come back, getting his confidence back. This is about being a pro now. You got to bounce back. You got to work on your craft, get better. Get better, man. We had Gonzalez on the board. Ron Rivera and them felt like 150-pound corner is the way to go. And now they struggling. I don't see it. I think the Skins in the next 5 weeks they're gonna be 3-9. And at that point, after Thanksgiving, I can't blame Ron. I can't blame Josh Harris, for making a decision to let him go. Because at that point, season over, we got to prepare for next season. And I don't think Eric Bieniemy going to be the coach next year. I know people don't want to criticize EB, but EB got to switch things up, man. He ain't got Pat Mahomes back there. He ain't got the Kansas City offensive line back there. He can't be throwing the ball like that, man. That boy going to get killed. You going to get that boy hurt, man. Sam Howell is going to get hurt out there. He getting up slow. I'm watching him closely, man. Every time he get hit, every time he get up from them sacks, he just getting up slower and slower and slower. They ruined this kid right here in front of our eyes. He been sacked 46 times in 7 games. Can't have it, man. The Redskins are a below average football team. They are a below average football team. Make no mistake about it. And they lost to a bad football team in the New York Giants. So we don't know. But they got Philly next. We're gonna talk about Philly later. But we're going on to the next games. The game of the day is the Cleveland against Cleveland beat Indianapolis, the Browns against the Colts. Cleveland wins 39-38. Hey man, that was a hell of a game. But the story of that game is Deshaun Watson. Early in that game, Deshaun Watson took a hit. He fell and hit back of his head on the ground. And he went for a concussion look. They looked at him, but he got cleared. Coach ain't put him back in the game. The Cleveland coach said, nah, we good. We're going with P.J. Walker right now. Deshaun, you can stand right here next to me. That's something right there to watch. A man got guaranteed $250 million. And he get cleared from an injury, and the coach said, nah, we good. Stay right there. And they still come up and win the game. That's going to be something right there to watch. Deshaun Watson is not living up to that contract. He is playing poorly. And for a man, the starting quarterback, to get cleared And the coach said, "Nah, you should just stay on the sideline. We're gonna go with this guy, PJ Walker, who just got cut from the Chicago Bears." That should tell you something right there. That should tell you something. That should tell you something right there. Something going on. That should tell you something. But we're going on to the next game. Baltimore against the Rams. Baltimore against Detroit. Hey, credit to Lamar, man. Lamar played one of the best games he's played ever as a pro. Lamar was lights out. From the very first series, he was lights out. They ran all over Detroit. This is one of those games right here. Detroit was not ready for the moment. But you know what? Sometimes in life, for you to move forward, you got to take a step back. You got to take 2 steps back to move forward. Detroit, they learned more from that loss than they would ever did by winning. They really did. They know probably they didn't practice the way they were supposed to. They felt like they had arrived. They felt like they can just show up. And Baltimore whooped them. Baltimore punished them peoples. And sometimes that's what you need. You need to take a whooping like that. And Detroit sure did. They took a whooping. So we go on to the next game. Man, the next game, Pittsburgh against the Rams. Now, I'm gonna tell you something, man. That was an ugly game. It was a hard fought. Man, Pittsburgh offense still struggling. Pittsburgh offense is still struggling. It's one of those things. It's one of those things where you look at them, everything seems like it's hard. Defense is playing well. They're ferocious. They doing their thing. But offensively, everything is hard. Kenny Pickett went 17 for 25, 230 yards. Those decent numbers, good numbers. He didn't turn the ball over, which is good because you got a defense like that playing the way they do. Just don't be. I've been saying this forever. Be part of the reason why you win, but not the reason why you lose. And that's what Kenny Pickett is doing. And they winning games. How in the world is Pittsburgh 4-2? It's beyond me. Credit Mike Tomlin. Credit Mike Tomlin. I truly believe. Credit Mike Tomlin because Coach Tomlin is man, he's coaching his butt off. He really is. He's coaching his butt off. Pittsburgh is 4-2. You got Cleveland winning games. They trying to catch up. Baltimore winning games. Cincinnati is coming around. Pittsburgh got to get all these wins as they can because this offense is going to be a problem as they move forward. The offense is going to be a problem. You go to the next game. So credit Pittsburgh, man, because this offense is their downfall. But man, they stacking wins, man. That's all you can do till hopefully they can find a way to get this offense generated and score some more points. Next game is the Chiefs against the Chargers. Man, Pat Mahomes that yesterday. He went 32 for 42, 24 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Pat played well, man. Pat played well. Pat was being Pat, man. Kelsey was balling out there. Kelsey was getting it done for it was National Tight Ends Day. He showing up there, played like the best tight end in NFL history. He was out there playing, man. He was balling, man. You got to give it to Travis Kelce. You got to give it to Pat Mahomes. And quiet as kept, man. People ain't talking about this. Kansas City has a hell of a defense. They got Justin Herbert for 17 for 30, 259, a touchdown and 2 interceptions. They flat out harassed Justin Herbert. Man, Kansas City got a defense, man. Kansas City got a defense. The offense is not even nowhere near what it used to be. But they getting up wins. They 5-1. They're flat out on getting the job done. You gotta give it to the to the Chiefs, excuse me. The Chiefs are just stacking up wins. Where the Chiefs at now, come the end of the year, injuries aside, if they don't get no catastrophic injuries later on down the line, the Chiefs are gonna be prime and ready for a playoff run. They're gonna be prime and ready. Because the division they're gonna run through the division, they're gonna stack up wins, they're gonna probably get home field advantage, and once they do that, you gotta go through Arrowhead again. And there's only a few teams that can go through Arrowhead and get that win. I know Cincinnati did it a couple years ago. Man, people are not talking about this, but Kansas City, that defense too. And they're young. And they're really young. But as we switch to the Chargers, man, Brandon Staley, he's in trouble. There's no way the Chargers should be losing the way they losing. The Chargers are not playing well. Like I said, Justin Herbert went 17 for 32, 59, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. Joey Bosa, where are you? I understand he has a broken toe, man. So he's not nowhere near what he used to be. Right now, he's playing through injury. I'm sure that's really painful. You got Khalil Mack. He had that 6-sack game, but we ain't really hearing too much from him. Man, the Chargers in trouble, man. I don't think Brandon Staley is going to be the coach next season. Some say he shouldn't be the coach this season, but you know, the owner made that decision. He got to live with it, and it's in my opinion, it's a poor decision. So you move on. So the Chargers are in trouble. Kansas City, they just chugging along. The next game is the Patriots over the Bills. Now this is one of the worst losses for the Bills I didn't see. Man, these are things that don't happen to Kansas City. Kansas City would not lose to the Patriots like that. Andy Reid does not lose games like this. Sean McDermott, they go to the Patriots. The Patriots are struggling. The Patriots are 1-4, 1-5. They go down there, they go up there and they lay an egg. 29-25, the Patriots beat them people. The Patriots played well all game. Buffalo couldn't slow them down. Buffalo could not slow the Patriots down. Patriots, Mac Jones went 25 for 30. Think about that. 25 for 30, 272 yards, 2 touchdowns. He played one of his best games. He really did. He played one of his best games. The Patriots had a plan. They played well all day. Defensively, they played well. Slow Diggs, Stephon Diggs and them boys now. Josh was just he was just off, man. They really couldn't really do nothing. It was just one of those things where, man, the Bills could never get a handle on that game. They never could get a handle on it. The Patriots were always, even though the Bills at one point took the lead, it was just seemed like they could never control the Patriots. Felt like old days. They never could control the Patriots. So you got to credit the Patriots, man. They still fighting. And part of the news that came out is that Belichick last season had signed a contract extension. I've been one to believe is that the Patriots put up a bad number this season, like a 3-14, on 4-13, something like that. Belichick gone. But apparently during the pre-games this past Sunday, Belichick had signed an extension. He making close to $20 million a year. I don't know. You making that type of money, it's hard for me to see him getting fired, but I don't know. We'll see. It's a long season. One of the last games is the Philly against the Dolphins. The Eagles against the Dolphins. The Eagles winning 31-17. Tremendous game by Jalen Hurts. I talked about it in my previous episode. I hit the sled that Jalen Hurts would want to win that game because of what happened when he was at Bama. Tua took his job. He never got his job back. He comes out. He plays it very well. He ends up getting hurt, and a little bit he was limping. They had to put a brace on his knee coming out in the second half. So we got to watch that when they play the Skins this coming weekend. So we're gonna see how that goes. AJ, the receivers, the Eagles, the defense really was the catalyst for this win. The Cheetah got his thing. The Cheetah did his thing. He made a lot of big plays. Tyreek Hill. But the problem with the Dolphins is the run game really didn't do nothing, and then the Eagles' defensive front just was manhandling. They was vicious up front. They was vicious. Them people's there. The Eagles gonna be tough, man. The Eagles gonna be tough. I believe whoever gets home field advantage against the Eagles and the Niners are gonna make it to the Super Bowl. I really do. So credit the Eagles. They got a dominating win on Sunday night. They beat the Dolphins. Tua didn't play poorly. He played pretty well, but hey, you need greatness out of him, man. And the Eagles' defensive front was coming. They were absolutely coming, man. So as I end up on Hit the Sled, hey, do me a favor. Subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, my YouTube channel, Hit the Sled. Subscribe, like my videos. I truly appreciate y'all. Hit the Sled.